So thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We just want to have a casual conversation about things. So yeah, we kind of mentioned the two segments.
I think the premise is we're trying to talk to people that we both admire. So
you're one of those people.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So you're a man about town. You're busy. Your fingers are in a bunch of different pies.
Yeah. Sounds dirty.
And sometimes, maybe, you tell us. But yeah, so you're like, I guess some context, you run Golden Media Company.
Yeah.
And tell us, how long have you been doing that?
It's a year and a half in, and it's turned me actually into an ex-man about town. Like, I don't leave my house ever now. So I run it outside of my house, and by outside I mean inside my house. And it's I did freelance when I worked at Tourism Saskatoon. A lot of stuff I had learned from when I was in the 220 here at Studio 10, and eventually felt good enough to do it on my own. So it's been so good. We worked together on a project last year. That was fun. We want to do more.
Yes, that was really good.
Yeah.
You saved my ass.
Oh, hardly.
Well,
you saved my ass. It was mutual. It was good.
As a thank you, was that we did the drone thing for Norseman?
Yeah.
I was really appreciative.
But yeah, most of it's like corporate stuff, which sounds boring, but I find little ways to be creative with that stuff. I've been doing a bit more music videos lately. This weekend we destroyed a house.
Like, actually?
Yeah. So it was for a band, Autopilot, and his next door, the lead singer of that band, his next door neighbor is someone bought that house and they're tearing it down. So there's like a week left where this house is there. And he saw the opportunity and asked if we could shoot a music video in there. So we threw a proper house party and spray painted the walls and broke walls. And what else did we do? We fully trashed the place. Everything but the windows could be broken. And we did that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's coming out soon. So it's not all
you couldn't light it
boring
on
business
fire,
and
though,
stuff.
right?
We didn't have any fires. We had a smoking machine, artificial fire. Yeah. We're just talking about fraud stuff, so we didn't want to get into that mix.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, don't talk about it on camera.
That's right. Yeah. So it's going great. I'm super happy. I'm working like 24 hours a day, but I don't mind it.
So are you finding, like back when you were working with other people or when you were an employee, there was probably like less of the admin side of the business that you had to worry about?
Yeah, the part I suck at.
Right.
Yeah.
So how are you adapting to that?
Slowly. I'm slowly adapting to that. I'm getting better and better at it, and I wanted to take the first year to do it myself, so I kind of understood how it all worked. And then now recently I've kind of handed off a lot of the bookkeeping stuff to a buddy of mine, Nevin. So it's in his hands now. I just got to produce the receipts, and that's about that. So that took a lot of that off my plate. But in terms of like following up for invoices and client relations and all that kind of stuff and sales, I actually love that side of it. So there's pieces of it I've kind of fallen in love with.
Like which pieces? Like quoting?
I like the sales thing. I like
quoting a job or sitting down.
Yeah, I like that. And then going like putting together a proposal or doing meetings and figuring out what a client wants and figuring out how we can best provide that. Like, I like that stuff.
So I do too. And I've found more and more often I'll work with people that they've reached out because they know that they need help.
Yeah.
And they're looking for help. But a lot of the people a lot of the cold calls that we've been getting lately, like people that are really opinionated about what they think would be the proper solution.
Yeah.
And so there's like, we call it like education. Like we're doing a lot of education to try and like, we're not trying to tell them what to do, but we're trying to help them take a step back and try and be empathetic towards all the people that aren't as close to them and their business and how they might have a different opinion or have different ideas about the things that they're doing, and that they need to be mindful of that and just be a little bit more open to maybe some other ideas before us going down one path. And we can do some research and pitch an idea and feel like everybody's on the same page and everybody's all on board. and then we send out a quote, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
No, we don't want that.
Yeah.
We thought we did, but
Yeah.
we don't.
I only want like 30% of that.
Yeah.
And it's just the thing that I want.
So that's fine though. I'm kind of okay with that too. Like if company, because they don't know what it's going to cost, and yes, they do want all those things, but that's the kind of decisions companies have to make anyway. So I'm happy to like scale things back typically.
Yeah. Do you have conversations about budgets before you even get started?
Everyone is different. Sometimes, like I'm pretty comfortable bringing that up out of the gates if it's a fairly straightforward shoot that I can, come up with an estimate off the top of my head. If I've done something like it, then I feel like it's probably smartest to mention that rate out of the gates, so that gets that out of the way, and then we can just get down to strategy and figure out what we want. So, but other ones, I've just finished a shoot where we're done the shoot, and we haven't even discussed a price.
And you've never worked with this client before?
This is the second one. So I have worked with the client before, so they kind of know what to expect. Yeah. So those happen too. So it just kind of depends on who it is.
Yeah, I feel like in similar situations, so like if I sense like, because some people won't ask the price, but they actually have no budget either, which is kind of
dangerous.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And so when I sense things are like out of, like they don't really know what they want, and they're not talking price, then I'm like, yeah, so these are the basics, like this is where we start, and then that's where we can grow from there. And then if your project's bigger, we have different ways to save you on the volume. Oh, okay. Oh. And then it's like, so let's talk about your project. And then my process now is like they book a discovery call. So before, like in a scenario like that where people are asking too many questions, I'm not even phrasing it right. Like they're just kind of coming at it from like maybe a non-organized position. And so that's where I'm like, okay, we just need to talk about price so that like there's a sort of a thing. If we move forward, then because I've spent meetings with people talking about the ideas and sharing what I think would be the best approach, and then they hum and haw, and we go for a second meeting, and then I quote it, and then they're like, oh yeah, we don't have the budget. I'm like, oh, like
we've been talking about this for a while. Yeah, I think the last thing you want in a business interaction is surprises, unless it's a good surprise, like you add something on and you're okay with doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those are never good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's good to, I should probably work at being a little bit more straightforward about, or like making sure that prices are talked about early on in the process.
Well, it sounds like you're doing well.
Typically they are. Yeah.
I remember.
It
took me so long to get there.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked with how, I guess I've been working at this for a long time.
So if you
outside of this, so I did kind of freelance work on the side when I was with tourism. But now that it's a proper business and it's not just me, it's it gets a little bit scarier. But I've been so lucky to have the greatest clients so far, and they're all fun. They're fun to hang out with and good people, and they do lots of business with me. So I'm super happy so far.
So do you have any sort of reoccurring revenue model? Is everything one-off, one-time projects?
It's like 60-40, maybe more, maybe like 70-30 ones that are one time. But this year, compared to last year, it's completely changed. Like I'd say half of my clients right now are return clients from last year.
That's awesome.
So I must be doing okay.
Yeah.
Either that or I'm not charging enough or something, but I'm happy and they seem happy, so I'm going to keep rolling with it. It seems good.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to sort of figure out that new media creation is a huge part of digital communications or just communications in general.
Yeah.
Video is kind of at the forefront of that. So I assume that there's a lot of businesses that are trying to figure out like, how do we integrate video production into our communication strategy, into our social media strategy, and how do we do this in a sustainable way? So I think you guys are doing the heavy lifting on helping figure out like what does that look like, and how do we set something up where it's realistic and available for people to do more than once, and it's not such like a huge thing, a huge deal to get down and to get to work and to actually show up, put the mic on, get in front of a camera, talk about what you do.
Yeah.
I assume that like there's a big mental hurdle or barrier that new clients of yours have to get over to get in front of a camera and to do it. And I guess like I'd love to hear sort of like how you make people feel comfortable doing it, and how you sort of like reinforce that message that like getting in front of the camera and doing it once is great. What's even better is to start to do it regularly and to start to talk about some of the nuances of what you do in your business and the characteristics of the type of people that are most successful that work with you, and sort of like building more of a persona and having more content online. Like how do you make people feel comfortable with doing all that?
Okay, there's like 7 questions there.
Sorry.
No, I got them. But first of all, like, yeah, you're right. It's a super hot, trendy thing right now, and it's important, and it's what's capturing people and grabbing them. Not just video, but having, like, I guess I would say smaller scale video, or video that you can churn out on social, so you get more per production kind of thing. And I love working with companies on that, because I come from, the people I'm working with are in the role that I used to have for other companies. So I used to play the marketing manager role of a company. So I would hire out people, creatives to do their thing and work with them on that. And now I get to be that creative, so I'm having a little bit more fun with it. But I kind of know what they want out of it, and so I like having those conversations and making sure we're both on the same page. And I think it's easier to get on the same page. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of when you're actually there doing a production, that's my favorite part. Is I think that's part of the reason I do videos, because I get to interview people. So I hate being on this side. I hate answering questions, but I love asking them and trying to get tons of stuff out of people. And both myself and Anthony, who I started it with, who's still doing some work with me, we both really pride ourselves on the interview part of it and making people feel real comfortable and helping them forget that the cameras are there and getting the gold out. That's part of the reason we call it golden. And it always happens towards the back end of the interview too. So, right now, even just me being on this side, I'm very conscious that the cameras are here, but as we go.
What cameras?
Yeah, exactly. I'll forget as we go, and then that's when the good stuff comes out, the more comfortable you feel. Yeah. So the sooner we can get there, the better.
We literally had this conversation last week. We did this with Anthony Hadlin, and he was talking, like we were just shooting the shit over there after we were done, and we had such a great conversation. And yeah, everybody's a little bit more natural, a little bit more normal. You don't feel the heat from these lights on your face.
Yeah,
it's just a little easier to just chat.
It's like 3 or 4 questions in, usually that's when they kind of open up and feel a little more comfortable. I'm
hoping that repetition is sort of like part of the cure of this. Mm-hmm. And that's like Matt and I, the reason, like, I think Matt and I, we probably share that same drive. One of the drives for me to do this is to feel more comfortable on camera and to find a more sustainable way of presenting myself through social media in a way that I feel comfortable with. And I think a way that like is more representative of me and things that I like doing. Like you, I like having meaningful conversations with people that I'm interested by.
Yeah, we have fun with that.
Yeah.
That's that's kind of where you were leading with the last question too. That's going to be one of the most, at least I believe, that's going to be one of the most important things going forward for businesses, is to have something that, well, first of all, somebody that can get in front of the camera that's charismatic and people want to follow along with, right? Because right now, people are throwing all kinds of content online, and people are going to get sick of glossy photos of things and, videos that are just like clips of whatever it is that they're selling, But as soon as you get a talking head in there, or like a personality, that's what people are naturally attracted to in life anyways, right? You want to get to know people. So I think the smart companies right now are finding someone within their company or externally that they hire to become somewhat of a spokesperson, essentially, at least through the social channels. And then you get it attached to the story. You crave like seeing that person again and getting to know a little bit more. So I think
I have a question for you about that. So like So one of my clients, they're realtors, and they have hired me to do sort of that type of thing. They
Awesome.
I feel lucky because they approached me to do it. And I'm like, I've worked for them many times before, and then I was like, yeah, let's do these like highlight videos of, showing who they are. Like they're showing a house instead of just a house tour. And they have the magic to be on camera. Do you think that's something that you like with a long term? Like I know you work with Haven Builders. Your work with them is incredible.
Thanks.
We were just actually watching it before you came here.
Nice.
But it's like, what if a client like them, a spokesperson come, could you, because you have so far you have this long-term relationship, could you help them develop that spokesperson?
Yes, and that would be something fun to offer, hey?
Like, does the person need to be the charismatic person, or can you kind of get someone used to it? Like, let's say you literally...
I have a hard time believing that you can pull that out of somebody that isn't.
Yeah, okay, let's say someone's charismatic but terrible on camera, I guess. Maybe that's a better...
That could almost be adorable. Like that could almost be better if they were charismatic but bad on camera.
That's the approach. So you almost like, if someone's really awkward on camera, you have to have a really good editor who can kind of ham those things up. I've seen a lot of work lately that I like where the video production isn't super glossy. It's like a handheld camera just following someone around. But in the editing, they add personality in editing. So they'll have like, almost like, you remember like, now I'm sounding old, but pop-up videos back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Remember those where they like throw some little information up on the screen? So whoever's talking, the bubbles will sometimes like make fun of the person on screen. There's this guy I watch, Brad, he's part of Bon Appetit. He has a series called It's Alive. And this guy, Vinny, who edits the videos, he's like, it's almost like he never appears on camera, but you can get to know his personality through the stuff he adds on screen. So that's how you can carry that a little bit with someone. But I don't think, I've interviewed enough people to know for certain that not everyone has it. Not everyone's meant for camera, and that's fine.
From this conversation, I would be very surprised if in a few years it isn't built right into job descriptions for like certain key roles that people must feel comfortable being in front of a camera. Like when you think about what a sales manager is at a car dealership, it's a very traditional job role. But with the direction of where things are going, like this current generation of sales managers at car dealerships are never going to do this, and maybe next generations won't either. But I think the ones after that will be required to. It'll be just sort of like part of the job description will be, you have to also be able to speak in front of a camera, because at the end of the day, for a sales manager, part of the job requirement is deals come to them once they're almost there, and a sales manager will help get them the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But if that person is so persuasive on a one-on-one, to close a deal, they probably have some of the characteristics that you would need to be persuasive on camera as well, but not all of them feel comfortable, and that's not really their jam. But I think in the future that will, for different key roles within businesses, it'll be required that you also get in front of the camera and you speak on behalf of the business.
Yeah, I definitely see that. That's probably happening, honestly, already in some businesses.
It should be.
Yeah.
I think it's progressive if it's happening right now.
Yeah.
Well, if you even look at what Instagram stories is like, actually this is kind of a funny thing, I think, because a lot of people make stories and videos of themselves talking all day.
Yeah.
And then to ask them to sit there, literally sit and have a conversation on rolling cameras with us, it's like, oh no,
all of a sudden they can't. It's weird. It's the lights, maybe? I don't know what it is.
The light, I know.
It's because it's such a big production and it's in someone else's hands that way. Like when you film yourself, you can kind of go, oh no, I don't like that one, and then take it again. You know what I mean?
And you can pick your...
Where if right now, you guys are going to take this afterwards and do whatever the hell.
These aren't even cut.
Yeah.
This is the 5th one now, and it's like...
this one will have to be cut.
It'll be shorter.
How we start.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the middle. I think I cut the middle. Because I had the first few, I just you see me get up, on the multicam edit, you see a black one, and then I come sit down. And it's they're just full 60, 70 minute videos. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. I also think, talking about that, I think long form is coming back in a major way. I see a lot of people moving on to, or like at least sending people to YouTube now and doing like 10-minute videos again. And a lot of it will just be, well, like this. What we're doing right now is.
Did you just refer to a 10-minute video as being long form?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because it is right now.
Yeah. See, like when
I'm
I
being
think
asked
about
to produce
long
30-second video. Like the other day, we just shot 6-second videos because they have to be like a YouTube pre-roll thing before the skip button comes up. You know, 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was took us like half a day to film 6 seconds.
Do you need an auctioneer to ramble off all the things that need to be said about them?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But sometimes it can be fun to work within those. Like as a creative, I find that it's fun to work within tight parameters because you usually come up with more creative things that way. So here's boxed into 6 seconds.
Yeah. Well, it's probably harder to do. Like this is like I have to watch it 1-to-1.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. Plus 20 minutes extra, and then
Yeah.
hit render. I do have a question. We got a bit of time before the segment's over.
That went fast.
We'll get you another beer. What was it? It was. Do you think something like this? Let's say, like a multi-cam interview. You're saying long form is coming, or becoming more important to companies. Do you think this would even be a format that people would hire you to do? Like, you have your long-term customers, and now all of a sudden, I'm going to throw Haven out there. I mean, I don't know. You work with a lot of people, but like a company that you work for ongoing, you think they would ever start incorporating that into their routine? Like maybe a monthly thing, or have you ever been approached to even make a show for someone? Maybe it's only 15 minutes or half an hour.
At one point someone wanted to do like a series. I can't remember what stopped it from happening, probably price. But but it was like a not just a sit down show like this. It was more like a follow along kind of reality show with cuts and things like that, and it just would have been way too much work, you know what I mean? To be able to do it well and frequently enough. So you're onto something 100% here. Like I love that idea. You can see even a lot of the creators that I follow are starting to shift into something like this. And I think smart businesses would be wise to hire somebody to produce something like that. If it's once a week, like on Fridays, they get together and have a show or something and even broadcast it live. I think that's interesting. And I think it's a cool way to see behind the scenes of a company and get to know the people.
Like what value, like in those scenarios, like could they get from it? Like I feel for this format for us, it's like, I don't know the inherent value other than I'm practicing what I'm doing and we're getting better on camera.
We get to bro down every Tuesday, and that's really cool too.
Yeah, that's the best part. And then for viewers, they feel like they're broing down as well, but they're just they're laying in their bed or they're in the car or whatever. Because I think the benefit of doing a video version of this is you can listen to it like it's a podcast too, so you don't have to be watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can also have it on a side window while you're at work if you want, and you have the visual side of it. Or I like the idea that TV is really portable now. Like I saw a post, I can't remember who it was, someone today on Instagram stories was saying that they're waiting for their kid in a violin lesson or something, and they were watching IGTV. I was like, that's cool. You can be entertained rather than just scrolling through things, you can actually watch a show while you're out and about. It's very portable now. And that takes programming out of the hand of big production companies and networks, and it can be you and I are the ones creating programming that people like to watch on a weekly basis. So I think that's neat. You know what I mean?
Totally.
I think it's fun. My computer's really chugging these days, so I gotta make a purchase.
Why don't you just put it all on the internet? Why isn't it on the cloud? Or what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, like with footage I'll do that.
Rendering files?
But just like my computer keeping up with, like I have to do proxy for, this is getting really nerdy now. You're not gonna want this on the episode. But I create proxy files of everything. So that means like if I'm editing a 4K video, Usually I'll do it the night before if I know I'm going to be editing a project that next day. Take all the files, and you can create proxy versions of them, so it basically creates like shitty quality versions of the same clips, and you can edit with those and then toggle between there's just a button that turns on the 4K mode, so if you really want to like go deep on color correction, you can see that. Your computer goes slow.
Yeah, so like,
or you can toggle it off and edit and do everything you need to do, and then it still exports.
So you can watch it real time unless it being like 1 frame every second.
Yeah, you get it.
Depends on the computer. My new MacBook will do it.
I know.
Multicam 4K.
Okay, so
I don't proxy.
I'm getting a new computer. I was kind of like, oh man, I could get a desktop like an iMac for way less than a MacBook, but by the time you throw all the upgrades on, they kind of even out, like they land around the same place. And I just like having a MacBook because I can, like if I'm doing, sometimes I do photos, and when I do those, it's nice to have a monitor there to show people. Yeah, I just pop it into the laptop.
I'm happy so
it's good
far.
To bring it around.
I got the 2 terabyte drive though.
Yeah.
So that
solid state drive?
Yeah. It's good. If I was really rich, I'd get this 4 terabyte.
Yeah. Well, because all you need, like it's one project worth at a time, really, that you need on there. And then after that, you put it on Dropbox or wherever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got real nerdy. Let's make it more interesting now.
Yeah, so I do, so based on our first conversation, we're talking about long form content and TV. Now, when I asked you to come join us, you were telling me that you're planning to do something.
Which is what I almost said right before we stopped.
So I want you to share about that.
It's I'm building a set right now. So I'm building a wall, essentially, like a frame. Right now I'm framing it out, and then I don't think I'm gonna put drywall because that'll be unnecessarily heavy. But anyways, a little backdrop. Got some nice wallpaper picked out. I'm gonna get a little couch table set up like this. Do it in my garage. It's gonna be probably kind of similar to this, but it's a little bit more hyper focused. So the concept that I've been planning on doing as a podcast for years is that, and maybe I have a name now. Actually, maybe I'll run the names past you guys.
We don't even have a name yet. So.
Okay. So I'll tell you this concept first, and then we can bounce some names.
I'm kidding.
Well, then I just got to be part of your show then.
I guess.
Then
there were 3.
Concept is someone comes in for an interview. It's just a one-on-one interview kind of thing. And they bring their favorite song, or a song. It doesn't have to be their favorite, but something that they're really feeling. And the whole episode focuses on that song. So first obviously, you bring a guest on, you want to learn about the guest. So I ask them why they're into that song, and then that may lead to other things about them. And then I try and rein it back into the song, and kind of the second half is I'll have done a bunch of research on that song before the episode, and that may lead me to another song that was inspired by this. So I get a little Nardwuar on them for a little bit, and then hopefully we dig into the meaning of the song or the lyrics, and that'll lead to a little bit more like philosophical conversation towards the end that maybe has a lot or nothing to do with the song. But that's it. So the whole episode is about a song.
Is that the name?
And we dig. No. About a song?
Yeah.
That'd be okay. I like that. It was going to be either it's kind of a song story.
I can bleep these out too when you say this.
No, that's fine.
No one knows.
We'll put a voting thing on it. Put a little voting thing on instead for the 3 viewers. And then...
Whoa. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Oh, it's like views.
Yeah. We've got 103-second views on this content. What's your total viewing time? About 20 minutes.
That's just me refreshing the page or whatever.
That's all me.
Zero.
Yeah.
Song story short was going to be another one. Or, okay, you guys aren't... I'm not getting like, oh, good name reactions from you guys. So
are you wanting?
Yeah, I wanted that. Of course I'm wanting that. I would need validation.
Okay, say the first one again.
No. It's too late.
Well, I'm not going to... No, but now I got to compare.
Okay, so the first one, it's kind of a song story.
It's kind of a song story.
Yeah, like replacing... Both of them are replacing long story with song story. The other one was song story short.
I like that one.
Me too. Okay, and then, it could be something as cheesy and easy as that's my jam.
I don't hate that.
Okay. I got that one. Got Smiles, so that's better.
I smiled
maybe.
even.
Yeah. That's all I got right now. I got to brainstorm a bit more, but that's what we got so far.
I just finished a podcast series. I forget what it was called, but it was a guy that just did a deep dive into My Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Okay.
The entire album, and every episode was one song at a time.
I think I've heard about this.
And I'm pretty sure it's always hip hop, and it's a different artist and a different album every time. And every line, like every verse, the beats, like where they came from, how they were developed, who was producing.
That's how deep I want to go.
It's amazing. Like you could probably pick some things up as far as like segments or like things that you could focus on and talk about. But
okay, cool.
I couldn't believe it that I listened to the whole thing. I'm like, I've probably listened to somebody talk about My Dark Twisted Fantasy more than I've actually listened to My Dark Twisted Fantasy. But
okay, I like that.
Yeah, I think there's always something to be said for people that do their research.
Yeah.
Like you said, I want to go a little Nardwuar on them.
Yeah.
The guy is undeniable.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible to not enjoy that. Just even if all it is that you love is the reactions of the people that he's talking to, and the fact that he is completely brushing over the probably hundreds of hours of research that he did to be able to make them go, what?
Yeah.
And that he's totally brushing over it.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm nerding over it, but I think there's if it's a lot of work on your part to go and do that research, but
I love that shit. That's what I like to do anyway.
So you need the right people though who know.
Definitely.
Well, no, I can't gush over music like that.
But I don't want the guest to have to do that work. I want the guest to tell me why they like the song. So you just tell me about what it makes you feel, or when you first heard it, or what got you into that song. Like, well, there's places we can go with it,
Okay, I like that.
Whether you know anything about it or not. Maybe you haven't even listened to the lyrics closely, but it's your favorite song.
And then you're like, did you know that it said this? And I'm like,
it's just kind of fun. Yeah.
That's coming on. He's going to bring Song 2 by Blur.
Yeah. Okay, nice. I'll dig into that. And then I think the other reason I like this concept is because we're in a time right now where like it's the age of shuffle right now. Like everything's on Spotify. We don't have liner notes anymore. We're not even listening to a full album back to back. It's just we're just being fed sounds.
Yeah,
gone are the days of like a friend recommending something to you. Oh, you got to try this album. I'll lend it to you. Or come over and let's listen to records and we'll go through all the liner notes and stuff.
Doesn't Spotify do that sometimes with
Genius?
I love that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing right now.
Yeah.
Like the screensaver thing that plays.
Yeah, it tells you it's like an interview with the artist. That's what I want to do. I want to do that in not text form. I want to do that.
Yeah, that's good content.
Yeah.
Again, it's really hard. It seems like it's really hard to do. That's where you should steal your content from Genius.
Yeah, that's where I'll do my research is through Genius. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not going to go super deep on this. Like, it'll be a quick Wikipedia search, and I'll call some of my DJ friends maybe, but that's about it.
That's not on every song, right? Like, Genius is just like a special little, like, sprinkles on top.
You got to be a hit to get the Genius treatment, I think. Yeah. But I do love that. That's pretty cool. Because you also, like, you used to hear new music on the radio, and it would be at the DJ's recommendation. You know what I mean? Before every song, you'd have a guy in the radio station who was like, have
you ever been
people would
DJ?
send in their demos and stuff to radio DJs. That's like you went right to the source to try and get it played, and then if a guy liked it, he'd play it. And so there was like a one guy doing the curating there, and now it's just it's a business, right? Like their songs are.
Have you ever been in that business, like as radio or?
Not too deep. Oh no. No, radio, no, not radio. I just did community radio, which is
Did you have a
very
show?
different and beautiful thing. Yeah, for like 6 years, maybe longer.
That's
did
awesome.
The Buzz, which is where I like fell in love with interviewing, because I'd get to. It didn't seem like
you're very much more qualified to do this than us.
No way. You
said 6 years of interviewing?
Yeah. Okay, for interviewing, sure, whatever.
That's a lot. Yeah, we're 5 episodes in.
I didn't plan on doing that. Like, I wanted to do like a kind of like comedy show, and I had this. It'd be so embarrassing. I bet you Jay Allen, who's the program director at CFCR, probably still has my like my demo tape we sent in. me and my buddies when we were younger produced an episode of what a show would be on air, and we had like sketch comedy, and we wanted to play music that was like catchy and easy enough to get into that it could be on pop radio but wasn't. So that was kind of like our music theme. And anyway, it must be the most embarrassing thing. But he ended up sticking me on the afternoon buzz, because I don't think a lot of the guys who volunteer at CFCR feel like interviewing people. I think a lot of people who volunteer just want to play the music that they've curated and that they like. But I was happy to do it. I got to interview like bands that were coming through town all the time, and
Some notable
people that were throwing events and authors and like all this cool kind of stuff. And
Who's notable to you that you've done that with?
oh man,
Brag a little bit.
Luke Doucette was a fun one from Whitehorse, big band. You guys are like, I don't know who that is.
Don't know, but
It's community radio, okay? They're not gonna be huge. They're not gonna be huge.
They're from Winnipeg,
Hayes
right?
Carl, a really good like country musician out of the
Okay.
States. He was fun. I'm trying to think, like some of the people must have made it.
or who stood out to you? Maybe is a better question.
Yeah, well, those are two.
Those
that
are
I
two,
would say
okay.
for sure did.
No, but like, you know, ones that like brag a little bit, you know, like
I'm trying. It was community radio, okay?
that's like
Yeah.
like Eminem.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh,
But
no
I
way
did
I
have other
know.
jobs where I got to interview Lee Fields, which was amazing. You guys are still at it now.
I know that one a
And
little bit.
Charles Bradley, who just passed not very long ago, but like a soul musician. I got to do that when I did like media stuff for Spare Parts, and we were a sponsor of the Groove Series for Jazz Fest, and we did like a little like interview series as part of that. And so
You were the original version of that. Like we were talking about saying like you'll have to hire somebody that's charismatic and can be on camera. You were that guy.
yeah,
You were
actually,
that
yeah,
guy
I
for
would
many-
say
for many businesses.
that Danny, who owned Spare Parts, he had like pretty damn good foresight and knew what, like he really put emphasis on the engaging with the community side of marketing, like a very grassroots kind of approach. And so yeah, he hired me to like large scale schmooze, I guess.
What happened
Really,
there?
through like all the cities that they had stores in.
Can we talk? Nobody's gonna
We
watch.
shouldn't. But the story is that like what happened? Why are they gone now?
Yeah.
Because they tried to open 22 stores in like 2 years. I
Okay,
think.
expansion too fast.
Yeah.
Not enough. Yeah.
Could they ever restart?
I think that there's a group of guys that have purchased some of the stores.
Yeah,
like
isn't
some of
it
the
like-
stronger ones before across Canada. And
Like the one
they
in
seem to
Midtown is basically the same thing that it was before.
Is
isn't
it? Yeah. So that would be that whatever that company is. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, probably. I mean, they had a pretty damn good thing going.
Like I have a Farm Fresh wallet right now.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
nice.
small.
And it's lasted longer than the company did.
Yeah.
So it's good quality. Yeah.
That should be the slogan.
Yeah, I love
These
those.
will last longer than us. Yeah.
The magnet on the back of those wallets was always a lot of fun. Picking up your chain. Is that your
Yeah.
Farm Fresh wallet?
Yeah.
I love that wallet.
I just got rid of
that
the.
wallet.
I think
Have
we
like-
found a sponsor, guys.
Yeah, our first sponsor.
We have a bin of 1,000 wallets that we got for $100. That's crazy. So, okay, you have kind of this mixed history of like, I find really interesting opportunities where people have, like, you've got to do things like, so you have a music background. I know mostly, I met you when you, like 5 years ago when you joined the 220. Were you with Spare Parts then, or what were you?
Yeah, actually, well, I was probably kicking around here before I actually worked in here. When I was at Spare Parts, we would do, I don't know, we were just here lots because we were right around the corner.
Okay.
So so that's probably when we met.
And so before that, like, you tell us more about sort of like,
Me, we're going way back, okay?
I don't know, for the time we have.
So I have a short attention span. I just do a whole bunch of things. In university, I studied urban planning. So there's a whole different side of me there. And I still love that stuff. I really like to get involved in municipal politics. Like I'm not one for world politics and national politics, but I like things on a local scale.
Would you ever
I
sponsor?
feel like you can make a...
Would you ever sponsor with your talent a local politician you believed in?
Yeah, well, I like.
Or have you?
I have. Charlie Clark, we did a pro bono video for him this year because I believe in the man. I think he's awesome. He's got a good vision for. Now we're getting political here, but anyways. So yeah, I was happy to do that for him, and he called it the TSN turning point in his campaign. No big deal. So. It obviously worked out. He's mayor now.
You and Jeff Galifianakis.
Yeah. that one also helped. Zach
Galifianakis.
Yeah.
What
I said Jeff.
He had the last name. People knew.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Oh, we got another guest?
Not yet, but he can watch.
I'll continue my story anyway. We might as well. After that. Oh, hey, buddy, come join the show.
We made a. I don't know. Somebody ordered some takeouts. I made it, but it's not until Friday. They didn't fucking tell me to check the day. So I got some extra. Do you want some food?
Yeah, you're our first sponsor officially.
Sure. We got a sponsor.
Odd Couple is officially the first sponsor.
That's amazing.
Of the show. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's really good.
Thank you, Andy.
Wow. Nicest guy in town right there.
Easily.
Yes, easily.
So we got 15 minutes left.
Plenty of time. What did I just finish?
You're
urban planning. So love that stuff. And I'll go attend when they do like public consultations on new projects in the city and stuff. Like I like going to those things and putting my sticky notes on maps and things. Have you guys ever gone to one of those?
No.
It's kind of nerdy.
I was talking to somebody. I was talking to Ryan Smith today about going to Venice, and what I loved about Venice was the fact that there'd be like these like
not Italy.
Italy, yeah,
Venice, actually Italy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking you were talking about like.
And they'd have these like town squares, and then in all the four corners of that square, there'd be like narrow corridors that you'd walk through that would lead to another town square. Like,
a multi-nuclei city.
Yeah, kind of like Barcelona. When you look up from above, I would assume that's it. Like I have no idea what you're talking about.
And those older cities benefit from like having like kind of impossible shapes to expand. You know what I mean? Like they're all built so wacky and so they're so old with narrow streets and stuff that they like are better cities because they can't have big wide streets and box stores and things like that. So it's actually helped them become better communities. You know what I mean? When you have room to build.
Well, the cars weren't invented, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
so whereas we're growing, Saskatoon has done the bulk of its growth since automobiles have been around. Yeah. So
it'd be really cool though, like to have like a community in Saskatoon that was a walking only community.
Oh man, people think that they would hate it, but they would absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Even in the winter, like people complain about winter. It's even on a super cold day. You're as warm as you dress, and if it's a walkable city, you're not going that far to begin with.
Like right near the
coffee shops
Besbro.
And things that you can pop into, and yeah.
Could you imagine if you couldn't drive in front of the Besbro?
Oh, that should have been like that for a long time already.
And then just all the way up, sort of like towards Midtown Plaza.
Yeah, people are aggressive about their parking spots here.
For sure,
man. Turn that into a walking street, but then we lose 18 parking spots. People from other cities when they come here, they're like, there's way too much parking in your downtown. There's a lot of parking here, but we don't see it that way because
I think
what I mean?
I've been grown up as like an urban kid.
Yeah.
Now working here, like I like to park my car for the day. I actually don't care anymore where I park because I like to just stay here.
Yeah.
And like not go to my car until I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
It's like I like that. Walk
so
to
then
the
you
gym,
get a membership somewhere or park in a parkade where it's like a day rate or whatever. Yeah. Instead of a meter.
I spend my lunch money here. I go to the gym here.
Yeah.
If I have to go to the post office, I walk to Midtown or.
Yeah.
I could see how that'd be really good. Like and when new places open here, we're like, I have a work ed student. I was like, go get some B-roll. He goes, takes my camera to the river. This is yesterday, and he films a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, this is great. Like,
and walks back.
Heck, I should walk here. I should go here on my lunch breaks. Bring a lunch.
Yeah.
Listen to a podcast and sit in the park just like a block away.
Yeah, you see more when you're walking and biking, too. So, well, I could talk about urban planning stuff forever, but like streets where lots of business owners will get angry if some parking is taken away from them or something like that. or if there was the case to be made for making that strip into a walking street, you'd get pushback from businesses. But all research shows that when you make a street a walking street, you get a lot more walk-in traffic, which makes sense. People are window shopping. Think about like doing a Saturday on Broadway. You pop into shops that you wouldn't normally go in. You don't do that when you're driving by. You don't window shop when you're driving.
No.
You know what I mean? So it actually is like case after case that it's led to more business. So anyway, that stuff's really interesting.
No, I find that very
My buddy Jeff, who owns the Broadway Shoe Repair, Jeff Wickstrom, his whole life is in like a 2-block radius, and he's the happiest guy that I know. He lives like a block away from the business that he owns, and his wife also works a block away from the house, and they always like the yard is their spot that they always go hang out in, and they just walk around. It's the coolest.
Well, even Dustin,
I love it.
Dustin, you moved to 5th Street, right?
Yeah.
So Dustin was telling me last week they went on a run. Here, I'll finish this.
Food's here.
I've got a. I'm
sorry.
sort of doing the same thing. Like I've got a 10-kilometer running loop from my house on 5th.
Yeah.
That's just perfect. It's all down the river.
Are you on 5th? 5th Avenue?
Yep, 5th and Victoria.
Man. That's close to where
Sorry,
my-
5th Street.
Yeah.
5th Street.
Oh, 5th Street. Okay. Yeah.
So 5th and Victoria, like really close
We
to.
got
Buddy.
our first sponsor.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, give it a shout out.
Get on
Hey.
camera.
Talk about Odd Couple. Why is it a great business?
Talk to
I don't
you.
know.
It's the food,
Not sure.
the atmosphere.
I love it.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Good.
Someone ordered
Great.
a
Good
bunch
to see
of
ya.
food for takeout. He made it, but it was for Friday. So
Yeah. So that's that.
We're the benefactors.
Somebody's gonna eat it.
community,
Yeah.
awesome.
Consider it done.
Right on.
Thank you.
Okay. Have fun, you guys.
We will. We are.
Yeah.
Thance, man. This is awesome.
I'm gonna join you someday.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna be on our TV show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a great
We're gonna
guest.
put Odd Couple on the map.
Okay.
Everybody talk.
I'm working out the kinks for them.
He worked
here.
at tourism. That was like one of the places you brought like almost everyone, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Andy knows. Yeah.
Lots of production.
Because it was the best. It was like just always a good experience going there. So yeah,
Well, thank you.
Hey,
Well,
have fun, guys.
we won't waste it.
we'll do.
See you, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
we gotta fast forward. Hey, so
Okay, so Dustin
Yeah.
lives on 5th, and he was telling
Yeah.
me, went for a run with his wife, Brooke, and they got home from a run, and it was like, it's nice. We didn't have to drive. Like, we went for a run, went to the river, and got home. And like,
Yeah.
you love that you didn't drive.
Yeah,
That's
we're
the
doing.
best.
We're figuring out like the proximity thing is like my quality of life that I have has increased by doing sort of what you just suggested. Your friend from Broadway Shoe Repair does. Same thing. Like if I drive to work, I can get here in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
If I decided to walk, I could do it in 30. If I decided to bike, it would be 7.5. Like
Yeah.
I get my whole life revolves around like my house is close to Broadway and I work on 20th Street. A lot of the food and restaurants and entertainment and things that I would do anyways are in those two hoods anyways. So it's really easy.
Ah.
And it's a quality of life thing.
you're
for
healthier, right?
Sure,
Because
definitely. But like I tell you, like wasting time in the car, like driving is the worst. It sucks. So
And you get kind of mad in a car automatically. Like I don't know what it is about it, but it kind of puts you in a.
when critiquing,
You're always in
other
a
drivers-
hurry, and you're always like, another driver makes you mad, guaranteed on every trip. And like, when you're walking, you're just in good spirits. Biking, you're afraid for your life the whole time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's like a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
I got the road bike, was loving it for a minute, and then 3 or 4 guys in Ram trucks have passed me with like an 1.5 inches
man,
on the one side, and just feeling like what, like they don't give a crap. Like if I go over the shoulder, like if I swerve, they'll hit me. They don't care. It sucks.
they probably would.
Yeah.
And it's so weird that like you're out there sweating and working hard on a bike, and they're sitting on this like heated seat with music playing, and
they're just like this
and they
prick
can't
is in my
they
way.
can't
Their one text
wait for
message
you to get to the next intersection or whatever where there's space for them to pull
I've
ahead.
had it happen on the highway where like people don't want to just move over a little bit on the highway. It just sucks, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with the whole biking thing anymore.
Yeah, because we were talking. This was like last week that we were talking about this. You were all keen on it then.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Well, I think I just have to pick my moments. I want to be biking in places and in areas that I feel safe in.
Yeah.
So like that old highway between Waskesiu Emma Lake.
Oh yeah, that we were talking about. Yeah, that'd be fun.
That's a nice highway.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Yeah.
We're closing in on the end. Hey, life story.
Do you want to share anything?
What do you have to promote? Our audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would promote.
Where can people find you? You own a videography.
Yes, Golden
company?
Media Co. is the Instagram thing. The business is on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook.
Okay, we'll share the link on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay.
Under the video.
Okay, but share it to Instagram because
You have a PayPal link?
I don't do Facebook.
Like a Bitcoin?
Facebook's not my thing.
Well, this will go to YouTube eventually.
Okay. I hang out on YouTube. YouTube's cool.
I love YouTube.
Yeah, that's most of my life. I make hot sauces. That's like another little secret thing that I do. Which
that could be a podcast.
It could be. Oh my god.
Taste testing hot sauces.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a crazy idea if we had like a row of 10 hot sauces and they went from mild to hot?
Dude, that's a really good idea.
Those while they did the interview.
There'd be money there for sure.
That's a good concept. I like that.
What would you call it? What was the show?
Spicy ones or something like that.
Hot guys.
Yeah.
Spicy short.
So that's a little like hobby thing, but that's the thing that I've been working on the side that I'm probably gonna make more public soon, and then I'm gonna do this show that's yet to be named. So then we'll flip, and I'll have you guys on that show.
In 5 years, do you dream? Cool do you dream big enough where? And you said you kind of like to do different things.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what you'll do? Or are you just open to new things? Or do you feel like what you're doing is like you're kind of on the path you should have been all along?
I'm super happy right now. I'm the happiest that I've been professionally in my life so far. So like I get a kick out of what I'm doing. It's fun, and I think I've always wanted to have my own thing because maybe I don't work too well with bosses or I've
being
got my
on
own
time.
ideas and being on time. Yeah. So now it's the clients that I gotta please that way, but.
Just teasing.
Everyone
he was late
that.
for the podcast.
Everyone knows
sure
I'm a Chad bit late. You don't even have to announce that. People are like, "Oh, Chad's on the podcast." He was definitely an hour late for that.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
thanks for thinking of me. That's. I feel like I'm not a very social guy anymore, so it's cool to be invited on the show. Hopefully, people remember who I am.
Chad Reynolds, Golden Media Co. That's it.
We nailed it.
We did it. We did it in a respectable time.
Yay.
I think we actually...
Oh, man, we got 25 more seconds. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Fiercest music video in the last 10 years.
Oh, my goodness. I only have 12 seconds to answer it.
I'm going to let you finish, but Beyonce had the best...
Oh, that's what you were just doing that dance. I should have known you were going to go there. Let's eat.